All right, it's our 6 o'clock hour. We're going to call our November 10th, 2020 meeting to order. Everyone please stand for our invocation. Get Councilman Woods to give us the invocation, please.
Oh, once again, Heavenly Father, we are gathered together, Lord, to bring our minds together, Lord, to make Marlboro County a better place. Father, we thank you, Lord, for life, health, and strength. As we come and go at this meeting, Lord, continue, Lord, to watch over each and every one of our families, our family members, both near and far away. Heavenly Father, these are our blessings in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
First is approval of agenda items. I don't think there's any additions or corrections.
I'll move we accept the agenda as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you. Unanimous. Then we got number 2 is approval of minutes, October 13th, 2020, regular council meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I think we move to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, it's unanimous. Thank you. Under old business, ordinance 799, an ordinance to amend the agreement for development of the Morty County Industrial and Business Park by and between Marlboro County and by Darling County and Marlboro County, South Carolina, providing for the development of a jointly owned and operated industrial business park as to include additional property in Darling County as part of the joint county industrial park and other matters related thereto. Third reading. Mr. Mullen.
Mr. Chairman, there's been no change since the second reading. It's just the legal agreement we typically do to assist other counties with incentives.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Under B, ordinance 801, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of tax and incentive agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company identified for the time being as Project Onward, one or more special source revenue credit agreements, each with respect to certain property in the county, whereby such property will be subject to certain fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes and the provision of certain special source revenue credits. Second reading. Mr. Mullen.
This, Mr. Chairman, this is a fee in lieu tax agreement for an existing industry to provide for them some stability in the current situation and also room for expansion and growth. So we would recommend you read this. Of course, we would reveal the name of the actual industry at the third reading. You don't do that till then.
Any questions? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ordinance 801. All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. It's unanimous. Under new business, ordinance 802. Ordinance adopting, revising, amending, restating, codifying, and compiling the Marlboro County Solid Waste Management Plan. First reading. Mr. Mullen?
Mr. Weber.
Or Mr. Weber?
Good evening, Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, council members, good evening, Mr. Plato. Good to see you. When I came, am I far enough away that I can take this off? Is that okay? Kind of hard to talk through that. When I came in, Councilmember Blackman asked me if we were in trouble because I'm here. And no, we're actually trying to keep everybody out of trouble, which we try to do. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the solid waste plan. You all should have a copy in your packet. It looks like this. If you don't have a copy, I brought a few extras, but this is what it looks like. And you may remember back in 2007, some of you were on the council, and there was a solid waste plan update that we did back then, and it was adopted in 2009. And it made some major changes into the direction of solid waste in the county. You may remember that the solid waste landfill was proposed real near the girls and boys camp up where Councilmember Skeen was operating at the time. And the solid waste plan really directed the county's solid waste for the future. It now has some age on it. It was a 2009 plan. It was about 100 pages in length. It was very detailed, and it was out of date. And so we engaged S&ME, an environmental consulting firm, to update the plan. And you can see it's a much more streamlined plan. It has a lot less requirements and more of a policy-driven document. And what it does is we've been working with Mr. Carabo, the Public Works Director, to figure out what the direction the county would be. And it's pretty much status quo, right? No new landfills in the county. Same sort of service. You all switched solid waste providers recently, but same sort of service, same sort of collection areas. And we prepared a draft for first reading. And so this is in front of you all for first reading. If you all agree with that, it will come up to you for second reading. Then there will be a public hearing, and anybody in the citizen group can contact you guys and talk with you about the plan. It will go to the local towns in the area to get input from the local towns. If you all adopt it, then it'll go to DHEC, the South Carolina Environmental Agency, to ultimately approve it. Then that will be your plan, and it's a 20-year plan. But typically you look at it about every 10 years, which is what we've done here. And so we're requesting, and I think the Solid Waste Director or Public Works Director, Doug, and County Administrator requesting the first reading on this. And I did want to just mention to you, I do have a new lawyer, Mallory, back here. She's a former DHEC employee, so a former state agency employee, and worked for a private chemical company and also a paper company before coming to our firm, Parker Post. So I just wanted to introduce you all to her. We're going to stay around afterward, and hopefully we can meet some new members of council, and you can meet Mallory. So I appreciate your time this evening, and if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them, or if you need a copy.
Any questions for Mr. Weber? All right, thank you for coming out. Mr.
Thank you,
Weber.
appreciate it.
I said it's always good to review and update and keep on track of everything that's moving forward. So with that, do we have a motion for ordinance 802 first reading?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Ordinance 803, an ordinance establishing the organization of the Marlboro County Economic Development Agency for Marlboro County, first reading, title only. Mr. Mullen.
Mr. Chairman, as I think will be discussed later on, there's a need for our annual strategic planning update, where we've done for the last few years, and I think a time and date have been set for that. And part of that plan for the last 3 years has been included economic development. And we've made some progress in different areas and in other areas that aren't related to economic development. But one thing that I'd like to see us take a look at in that strategic planning session is to make sure we have the right things in our partnership ordinance to encourage business participation in the board. We've gotten to where we have a very small number of business people on there, and that would be something that could be discussed there in detail so council could see what they wanted to do and their input. But any change would require 3 readings, any ordinance. And so what staff is asking you is to read that first one so that when we do meet, if there are changes, we'll be one step ahead, because we're always 3 months behind when we do an ordinance. So again, the details would come in the strategic planning, and of course council would drive that change if there were a change.
Questions? Not, we have a motion for first reading, title only.
Move we accept ordinance 803.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Right, it's unanimous. Thank you. C is a resolution authorizing staff to pursue funding and development of a speculative industrial building for Marlboro County. Mr. Mullen.
Also on economic development, and also part of things that will be discussed in strategic planning. We are at a position now where we don't really have anything to sell. We don't have anything to show when economic development type people are looking for us, when industries are looking to come to a new place. And what's happened for 20 or 30 years all over the state and all over the country is you have a speculative building that you build and the county has control of, and you use that to attract people to come. Now, when we did this a long time ago, and this council, I was on council, took action to give a building away. we did that. We reduced the price. We gave the building to an industry, had kind of a rocky road, Mr. Blackman, I remember. But what we're asking for you tonight is not to pull out a checkbook or dig deep into reserves and just build a building, but to authorize staff, to authorize me and staff to go after any kind of grants or partnerships or anything that would help fund this with the least impact on the county. And so this ordinance, this resolution would give me your blessing to go look. It would also give your approval to spend up to, I think I said 25% or $500,000 to match a grant. That's a typical amount. That's money that is in the Economic Development Fund. It's not money that would infringe upon the Delta project we have going on that we seem to actually be making some progress with. So we would ask, what we're asking is your blessing to go look, then come back to you with the details. Even with the approval of a match, $500,000, the final deal would always have to come back to you like any other deal. So you'd have a say. But when we go looking for grants, as I've made issues about with other agencies, we need your blessing to do that. And I know this is something on here that we haven't talked about because we haven't had that strategic planning, so I welcome any questions or anything that you may want to discuss.
Any comments? And there was the resolution is in our book right before the holiday schedule. So, and it just says the same thing that our administrator had said, with just a match and to create RFPs for it, to live and check, see if there's something out there that we could do. So, any questions or comments?
I move we approve this resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, it is unanimous. Thank you. Discuss scheduling a future work session for strategic planning update. As you know, for the past, I guess, 4 years, 5 years, we're working on a strategic plan. And you know, it's time that we kind of renew it every year about this time, at least look at it, see what progress has been made, see how to move forward, see if there's things we want to tweak a little bit and move forward. You know, one thing we talked about years ago was transportation. We got the PDRTA to come in. Other things was, you know, if we really think about it, was, you know, healthcare. We had to start EMS service. You know, it wasn't some of the things you don't want to do, but you have to do, you know. The other thing was, you know, make sure everybody could have Wi-Fi throughout the county. You know, we're working towards those goals. So I think it's just a time to look. I mean, you know, we got Mr. Struman, Councilman Struman on now. At least he could see kind of where we're going. And, you know, there's a lot happened between last year and this year. It kind of give us a vision or a focus to look back and start working on some of the things. You know, I think we steady got to move forward. As Councilman Wood always said, we got to continue looking forward or we're not going anywhere. So, and I think this is just a good time to look and kind of give staff a way to keep moving forward in the new year. So we know Thanksgiving's coming up here in a couple weeks, but what would a work session like maybe next Thursday or so work with y'all? Thursday evening, would that work? Or what works with y'all? Lunchtime, evening time? I know Councilman Woods works. What would be better for you, an evening?
Yeah, evening be better for me at the time. Early afternoon, around 4:30, be good for me. Be just hard to get away at 12 for me.
Yeah, we want to make sure we accommodate everybody, as many people as possible. I mean, Mr. Struman, what does that sound like? Would you want to?
4:35 would be good.
4:30 or 5?
We were, Mr. Chairman, we were, two things. We're looking to have somewhere big enough we can sit around each other and take a mask off. Mm-hmm. And it may be the community center. Ms. Bundy's already contacted them. They said we can do that. Okay. And we'll have some food so we can talk while we eat. And then I think we can do whatever because this is our job. But I think we had talked about 5:30. That way you can wind up, you know, and come in, and then we'll have something, pick up food, and we'll put tables all around and make it comfortable, if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah, well, I had kind of looked whenever we talked about it because I think we've only got maybe one Thursday between now and Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
that correct? So, and if we need to do a second reading on something, that would allow us to do a second reading. You got to have at least you got to have at least 7 days if something move forward. So that was a Thursday afternoon. Does that sound well with everybody? Around 5:30?
That's good by me.
Okay.
Thursday, the 19th at 5:30.
Thursday the 19th at 5:30. And if anybody wants a copy of those, what we've already had strategic plan, maybe send them out. We can get beforehand where we everybody can look at them and kind of see what was done and bring ideas. If there's something that's pressing on you that we want to continue to move forward on, we want everybody's input to move it forward. So any more questions on our discussion for that? Sound good? All right. Next is approval of 2021 holiday schedule.
Well, as I've learned in my 4 years, almost 4 years of working here, if they come up with a new holiday, state and local government will figure out what it is, and it'll be on this list. We take off when the wind changes direction. But the one we're taking off tomorrow is important. It's Veterans Day. There are a lot of important ones too. But anyway, if you look in your list, there's the list that we have for this year. They generally follow the state, and we're asking for your approval like we do every year for that list.
We have a motion to approve the list.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Any appointments to boards and commissions? All right. Next, reports. Finance report. Mr. Williams.
Mr. Park had a minor household emergency, so he begged forgiveness and gave me the report. So I'll present to you all. You see it has the charts in it like we always do, so you can see we're kind of following along where we normally do. That's a quick visual look. You can see on that first one, the green line is right there in October about where it needs to be. But Mr. Park's report is that general fund revenues through October 31st total $1.8 million. General fund expenditures through that same period total 3.9 of a $12 million budget, or 32.68% of the budget year. And as of that date, we have $3.2 million in our general fund operating accounts. This is normal because the taxes are just going out and they're not coming in yet, so that's all good. We've had our auditors in, our annual audit come in, and that's preliminary results look good for that, so everything is on track. We appreciate the work of Mr. Park and the finance staff.
All right. Any questions? Mr. Mullen, you continue going.
We keep going?
Yeah, just keep going.
I can't hear or see or anything else. I'm getting old. Administrator's report, as we always do, we recognize employees with 5 or more years of service to Marlboro County. This month we only have 3. Mary Collins with 7 years, Lori Moses with 16 years, Christina Thompson with 14 years. Some staff members are are in charge of the lunch at the community kitchen tomorrow. Mr. Keith Hughes and Ms. Bundy and others are helping with that. That's become a monthly thing that our employees volunteer to help with, so that's an outreach we can do. You'll notice on here that there is a drop-in for the new hospital administrator in Sherrill from McLeod Hospital, Bryn Lowe. So that's on November 20th, and the details are here on the report you have. Ms. Bundy and others are working hard to organize the community cleanup event. Met today with some City of Bennettsville staff, and they've been in contact with the towns as well. It's scheduled for November 21st from 8 until noon. Now remember, this was originally in April and it was put off because of coronavirus. But we're having a pretty good response. We have set our expectations a little bit lower than normal because we realize the times we're in. But the biggest thing that's encouraging to me is we've really had a lot of cooperation with the City of Bennettsville. Staff is really working well together. The city administrator and I talk frequently, and when he has something, I listen, and if I have something, he listens, and we try to help each other. We've had Public Works. Our Public Works has helped them out with sometimes with equipment we have they don't have, and they've done that. Like they put their camera down a pipe to see if the pipe was good for us, that kind of thing. So it's been very refreshing and very encouraging we live in a very small county and community, and there's just no excuse for us not sharing resources, especially when people are paying taxes to both bodies. Sorry for the mini sermon, but I want to make sure and give credit where credit is due. There'll also be, on that same day, our new solid waste provider, oh Lord, I always forget their name. I realize my uncle owns it. I believe one of those people that spoke at council meeting said, but Waste Connections is providing funding to give turkeys to folks. And, you know, we've done that, or they've done that, previous ones for years. So some council members, Ms. Plato, Ms. Glad, and all of you are welcome to help out with that. That will be on the same day but at a different place because that's sort of something separate from this. So more details will come out from that. Also, you note that we normally have our employee Christmas celebration coming up this time of year at the Prince Center, and we're not going to be able to do it indoors this year. You know, as we thought things were letting up, we see the case counts going up a little bit, and we've got to keep our guard up. So what we're going to do is have one at the courthouse, and it'll be staggered so we don't have too many people, and it's outdoors, isn't it? No, it's indoors. In the courtroom, takeout. Yeah, I'm sorry, again. So we've organized that. So we're doing what we can. We want to make sure and recognize our staff, and you all do too, and Ms. Bundy will be in contact with you all so you all can come and go and be a part of that. It's been a very good thing in the past years. Otherwise, we continue to see MUSC do COVID testing using our EMS. So our EMS people in the mornings are there to do testing for folks that come through MUSC's program to provide testing for businesses and people on state insurance, which are school, district, us, city, town. They've had a fairly a good amount of traffic coming through. I mean, a lot of people coming through. And of course, that's good so we can stay on top of what's going on. And also it allows, if you have employees exposed, you can get a real deal test and people can come back to work if they're okay. So it's kind of that way good too. We just recently had the trunk or treat last weekend around the courthouse, and that again was a joint project with the city and the county and the towns, and it was a success, and we're just happy we can come together and do that. And then of course I've already talked about the turkey giveaway there. So that's all I have. I can answer any questions you may have.
I have one that is not that you covered, and is a question that again, it's my phone been ringing up ever since about recreation.
Okay.
Are there any? It's such a dicey situation, and I was telling them the same thing. The situation is dicey about youth basketball. Next sport on the agenda. So many people get restless, and they answer the question: if school can do it, other counties can do it, what we gonna do? And I told him, I said, I don't know. I haven't talked to Mr. Fred, but I think I'll find out in the meeting. Maybe we can find some kind of direction. It's still early in the game, you know, not too late. But have y'all, Fred, decided to come up with anything, or we not have basketball? Or?
I don't know that we've made that decision yet. It is a very, very tough decision.
It is a tough decision.
And we, you know, right or wrong, we look around us and see what other counties are doing and other school programs and all that. And, you know, it does look like the schools, from what I can tell, are talking about doing it. So I you know, not trying to dodge your question, but I really don't know yet. We talked about it yesterday at our staff meeting, and we don't know. And, you know, certainly looking for input, we can talk after or whatever. You know, I guess the concern that I have is that if we go forward with any kind of program and we have rules set forth, it has been and always is very difficult to make people follow the rules. And so you put yourself in a situation where we're going to have this and we're going to limit the audience. And then a bunch of people come and crowd in there. I mean, nobody has the stomach to go in there and say, well, y'all got to leave or y'all got to not be here. That's probably the bigger concern I have, is the spectators and the people like that, as opposed to the players. So I'm open to input from anyone. I mean, and particularly you, Councilman Woods, with your experience, as to what to do. I think you're right. I think we got a few weeks. We might even have up to our strategic planning meeting where we could come up with something then and have him come and talk about it.
I think that'd be, at least have him come and, maybe if he can meet with the other commissioners in the area and get their heartbeat outside of Benfield.
County, other people.
And see what their heartbeat is and see what kind of input because we never know who got that idea. Some of them might have the perfect idea until they talk to somebody, or we talk to somebody, we never know we at the door, for the light switch. That gonna never happen.
That's a good point. And I've never believed in reinventing the wheel if somebody else has already figured it out. Other counties have more staff and maybe more insight. So I'll take that as a to-do, and we'll have that at the meeting on the 19th.
Anything else from Mr. Muller? All right, thank you. There was no citizens signed up to speak, so we'll, up next, recognition of council members. Mr. Woods, keep on with you.
Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to thank and we'll congratulate Dr. Johnson, Sheriff Lemon, Councilman Odom, and everybody else who ran and won and was successful last week. It was a huge turnout, and as we all can notice nationwide by the election, and everybody didn't get what they want. Some people did, but on a local level, I think we did a very good job on a local level. One new face, Dr. Johnson, thanks for coming, and you'll be out here next month, next year, January. Sheriff Lemon, congratulations again. Landslide, as we could say. Odom, Bird, congratulations. And I think, one other thing, like with my dad, I have a birthday today, he's 83.
All right.
Pastor?
I'd just like to say congratulations to Chef Lemon, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Odom. I wish you all the luck in the world and keep things going the way you've been doing. You've done a great job so far, and I don't see no reason why it can't continue. As Mr. Lemon always said, as long as you put Christ first, you can handle all the rest of it. Everything else is fall in place. Also, I want to thank Miss Bundy and Mr. Mullen for taking on the job of talking to the waste people about doing the turkey, and they agreed to do it, and I really thank them for that, doing that. I really don't have too much to say. I don't have no problem with nobody complaining to me about nothing in my area. We're looking forward to the cleanup, and I'm going to try to get on that tomorrow and get some people lined up for the cleanup and get back with you all on that. But other than that, all I can say is y'all try to stay safe as possible. I'm quite sure everybody in here aware that the corona is getting worse. We thought one time it was going to get better, but it's getting worse. And we just have to continue to pray and pray for each other and hope for the best and try to stay as safe as possible. I think that's about it, all I've got to say.
And I'd like to thank all the veterans in our community for their service, and we look forward to celebrating Veterans Day tomorrow.
I'm really proud about Marlboro County turning out. I mean, we was down like 20%, 21% of voters, and we up close to 60%. I mean, that's just fantastic, and I'm really, really pleased about that. Sheriff Lemon, you've done it again, man. That's the way to do it. Appreciate you a great deal, Things is really going good here in the county. Us working together, been great, and yeah, we need to keep doing what we're doing because we're doing a good job. I'm proud of all of us.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate all the candidates for your victory. Sheriff Lemon, I'd like to commend you on running a very, very professional and decent campaign. No negativity on your part at all, and it was just wonderful to see. And that's it.
I'd like to do the same thing, just congratulate everybody that won, and got a good thing going, I think, in the county. We want to keep it going the right way. I don't think we need to let our guard down on this COVID. Winter time, you know, people aren't getting out as much, staying in, so we got to keep our guard up and stay protected. So let's do that. Hearing good things, you know, about getting us some help with it by the first of the year, I believe. So talk like they coming up with something that's going to be a vaccine that's going to work. So you know, things are sounding better, but let's don't rush it this winter because the flu season's here too. So anyway, just take care of yourselves. That's all.
I would also like to congratulate Mr. Johnson, Sheriff. Great wins. Speaking of the elections, the community center, I think everybody will admit that was something that was really a tremendous positive. A lot of hard work by the people at the election to get everybody voting in a safe manner with all the COVID-19 guidelines. But the community center, I guess we need to thank Ms. Elizabeth McNeil. She was very instrumental in helping us get that thing set up. The holidays are coming on. Need to pay attention to your neighbors if you're going out of town, which I guess a lot of the COVID-19 will kill a lot of the traveling, but still pay attention to your neighbors' homes if they're leaving. During the holidays, law enforcement puts ourselves in a lot more positions that particularly on domestic calls that you normally don't have through the course of the year. So always be thinking about them. And it was good to still be sitting down here at the end of the table, sitting as a Republican for the first time, supposedly according to Mr. McNeil, since the Civil War. So that was something I didn't know about until he called me last Wednesday. So it is indeed an honor, and we'd like to thank all the people of District 6 that supported me in my election. And anytime I can ever be of assistance to anybody, I always feel free to call me or text me.
Sheriff Lemon? All right.
Each and every one of us will be starting out with one point say, thank you all. Thank all of you all for what you have done. And I ask that you continue to keep yourself informed in prayer because we know there's a tough time out here. We want to see Christians all the time. A lot of women, and there's some situations we get into that you might say, come on, you know, it's different. We know who's in charge. We bring out the future hopes and such. We know who holds the future. He's bigger than you and I. But I certainly want to thank you all for what y'all have done. I thank everybody that supports and votes and recruits everyone that may have been with everything they do. I certainly thank you. I'm very focused. I'm very appreciative. But I don't take it lightly that you voted over the national honor. And I told the folks that it ain't nothing I've done. It's what my people. Or the people who need to be on. I didn't put you on, the voters put you on, and I understand, and I appreciate that. I thank y'all for allowing me to speak. I look forward to working with you, every one of you all. One thing we got, we just talk to each other. I ain't hard to understand, I ain't gonna be hard. I just want to do what's right. Thank y'all so very much.
Thank you. Well, I just echo what everybody else said. Mr. Johnson, thank you. I'm going to congratulate you, Sheriff Lemon, Mr. Strudel, Mr. Odom. Like I said, all you that went through election, and so I would commend you for that. Like I said, we look forward to the cleanup day. You know, just to get out, exercise a little bit. You know, keep a watch on your neighbor. I mean, the one that's been in and not been, you know, out as much. You know, the suicide rate, all the other stuff's up. So. I understand Councilman Woods, you know, I know these kids are, you know, they've been inside a long time. We've all were kids one time and we used to play outside. That's the only thing it is. So now they, you know, big groups, and that's how we were growing up. So I know everybody's wanting to see sports get back to, you know, some level of normalcy, whatever that's going to be. So hopefully we can come up with a plan and work towards it. I look forward to the strategic plan, you know, next Thursday. You know, we've checked off quite a bit. Whenever you look at it and you see what you checked off, you realize, you know, sometimes you don't think you've done anything, but when you start seeing it checked off on the board, it makes a big difference. So we look forward to that and continue to move forward. So we thank everybody for coming out. Y'all be safe. Yes, sir.
I forgot to mention, I gotta go off to our local election commission board. They had a big task, Ms. Lori and Chrissy and them, they had a tremendous task to take on, and I think they did a great job, and Willie, thank you for your service, Veterans Day.
Appreciate it.
And so, if any of y'all ever need a blood transfusion, the Woods blood has got 103 and 83 in it, so they got a bloodstream that goes a long way. So, like.